This is the definitive top 5 launch sequences for shmups on the Sega Genesis, or ways to die blowing up as many as possible. Top 5? Yes, 5. Screw the rest. The disclaimer here being the shmup genre is so proliferate, having many subgenres spin off to become their own, that to include some contentious games might open the doors to cover games that don't fit the classic shmup profile. As much as it hurts, this leaves out champions like Shadow Squadron and Contra Hardcore. Heck, even getting a complete list is difficult, and I may have missed a few. But if I wanted to take it easy, I'd selected a shmup-starved system such as the Super Nintendo. Strap yourselves in. This ride's gonna have some surprises. Coming in at the top is Battlemania Daigen Joe. It is second in its series and a Japan exclusive, even though the first game was released stateside as Troubleshooter. Quality cutscenes that match the layout and style of levels and characters, while showing a little technical edge, make this one a keeper. Even better is the sense of action and speed given as your artillery/jetpack slams you into the fray with little to no load time. The game itself is a little quirky, featuring a heavy dose of Japanese flavor in the interspersed cutscenes. But they're fun and give more insight into the lives of these guns for hire, who take on giant monsters and other mechanized menaces. Think of it like Ghostbusters being a comedy horror mashup about an odd mix of guys who run a successful ghost trapping business. The difference here being, these gals obliterate their target. Huh, would you look at that? Thunder Force 4 at number 4, known as Lightning Force in the US. Trust folks, these games have gone through extensive testing, and math doesn't lie. Is there anything that gets you ready to kick butt more than a rockin' Genesis soundtrack? These beats want to make you shove lasers down the throats of your enemies so fast and furious. Title screens be damned. Any screens between the intro and playing only slow you down and make you more angry. Slow down there, Hulkster. Or maybe not. The fast recovery time as you burst into the screen after each successive death, and the fact that you keep your weapons too, at least the ones you currently don't have selected, is a major plus. Did I mention the music? After you've collapsed from the feet, your sweat and stink pouring out, forming a glue with the fibers of the carpet beneath you, the only thing that can rip you back into action are those lightning fast and well-orchestrated tracks. Dang, this music's good. Stuck in the middle at number 3, Fire Shark. Nothing says going out in a blaze of glory like being able to kamikaze yourself into the enemy who shot you down. In most shmups, taking out an enemy you crash into makes failure only slightly less insulting. Fire Shark heats it up a notch, but not only allowing you to glide into enemy planes, but also giving you full control over all your weapons. Ha ha ha! That's right, as you wiggle and squirm for your last dying breath, throw out a flailing hailstorm of bullets and lasers, or take them all out with a nuke. Ha ha ha! That'll teach them. Now, if only other games did this, losing wouldn't get underneath your skin as much. I'm looking at you, pole position. Did I mention the unique launch pad sequences at the beginning and end of each stage? How cool. Look at those little dudes go. Taking the silver is Biohazard Battle. The music's off-kilter, driving beat keeps you alert and active, and often the tracks evoke an alien soundscape similar to that of Metroid. You may question it at first, later finding this blends well with the imagery of berserk botanical gardens filled with bulked up bugs. Picture this. The threatening bass pulses as your beetle ship is birthed into space, then penetrates the thick atmosphere as swarms of alien ships attack. As you shoot and dodge, a floating option lends you an extra shot, and if you should falter, your buddy goes mental, swinging wildly in all directions, taking out as many of the horde as it can. When you respawn, shove it in their faces by using your limited invulnerability and bash those suckers too. Even bosses can't take the heat. You're invincible! for a solid 3 seconds. Am I just an expendable replacement? A casualty of progress? Should I not succeed, then my successor should be one in a series of sync points to adhere so that the next generation is a foot higher and a foot forward, never capable of seeing the entire thing, but to be complacent as a speck on the canvas. Whoa. You ready for number 1? Steel Empire. It does everything so well and is seamless. Each level launches you from a steampunk-appropriate dirigible aircraft carrier right into gameplay with very little pause. You're also treated to a landing sequence at the end of each stage. Though not as flashy as Lightning Force, the music is solid, and the first level tune puts you right in the mood for high adventure. A lot of shmups treat failure harshly, relieving you of weapon upgrades and sending you back to a checkpoint distant in the past. Maybe the beginning of the stage. Heck, some even have you restart the entire game. Steel Empire does take away your weapons, but allows you to continue quickly, preserving all accumulated XP. So what do we have here? A great launch sequence? Check. Robust soundtrack? Check. Keeping your progress? Check. Taking down enemies with your flaming corpse? Check. And what fun would kamikazeing be if it didn't allow you to bash the boss? All of this creates a seamless package for the greatest Sega Genesis shooter launch sequence. Or ways to die trying to blow up as many mofos as possible. With so many shoot-em-ups on the Sega Genesis all vying for the top spot, it's tough not to give some honorable mentions. Zero Wing is the paragon for a launch sequence that gets you amped up, even with a translation by someone whose English dictionary has gone through a wood chipper. Come on, you know what it's doing. Afterburner on the 32X steps on the thrust and barely lets off with foot-thumping music and a launch sequence that takes you from the deck of a carrier and into the skies without blinking. And finally, yes people, M.U.S.H.A. Though BS anime cutscenes don't cut it, non-stop kick-ass music does.